So guys, we are back with another episode of Calf Kick Sports. UFC 304 is in the books, and in all honesty, it was a very lackluster event, man. Let's be honest with you. This is one of the worst UK events of all time, and I don't say that lightly. Having said that though, Belal Muhammad has done the unthinkable. He is now the UFC champion. What's your thoughts, guys? I mean, unbelievable. We'll start with you, Jermaine. Go on.
The history books will remember the name.
Hey, you called it. You called it.
The history books will remember you calling it. I'll give you that.
I tried to tell everybody, though, said Belal was going to overwhelm him. He was going to make him crumble. He broke him. Leon Edwards, his coach, trying to talk him up in the before the fifth round, but, you couldn't do that. He was, come on, son, you got to pull it out. But Leon was dejected at that point. You know what I'm saying? There was nothing that could get Leon back into that fight. I mean, he had the elbow and all that at the end of the fight. The last 20 seconds, he really tried to put it on there. But, thankfully for me and my prediction, we have and new Belal Muhammad. You know what I'm saying? Yes.
That is not something, yeah. If you told me this 3 years ago, I'm like, get the fuck out of here, man. Are you actually serious? You actually think, Belal Muhammad's going to be the champion? Like, what in the fuck, man? What about you guys, Abbas and Raymond? What's your thoughts on this?
I waited until I made my prediction because I knew I was going to be there. But leading up to the fight, I was agreeing with you, and I was like, Belal very well can do this. Like, I think,
yeah,
and not in a bad way, but are we semi-overrating the run of Leon going into it? Because nothing was exciting. There was control.
Wait. Let him land.
I want to let you speak.
Let's
not do a relationship.
His first fight as champion was fighting a man that, okay, when we always say this, when you do that rematch automatically, it's never the best outcome for the guy that just lost in general, because you probably will get beat again, and he did.
Yeah.
Then you fight Colby, which realistically was all aura but no gun and smoke anyway. Funny enough, considering he supports Trump,
that aura
shoot
stank.
anything. That aura stank. Then when you fight Belal, again, the first fight we had, it was just warming up until the airport. So as much as we were going, if anything, we were going into this fight with Leon aura that he's so composed that everything is about him. Whereas Belal was telling everybody, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm telling you what I'm going to do. And I promise you I'm going to do it. And if we're being very, very honest, he made it lightweight. Now, from what I could see being there, the striking was a lot more cleaner compared to Leon, which is surprising. And he was setting it up, striking away where he was able to back him to the cage, then shoot. There was not enough space for Leon to actually do anything. There was moments of times in that fight where Leon was possibly being able to get, I won't say better of the exchanges or anything of that nature, but being able to stop the takedown or maybe use his ground game, which I think is underappreciated when this particular fight was nullified by Belal. There was moments in that fight. Round 3 was probably the only round that you look at, you're like, Leon won that round. But overall, it was just super clean, super crisp from Belal Muhammad, fully deserving of being world champion. And this also, I've heard a lot of people say the time of the fight. I'm not even hearing that as well, because you can make adjustments for everything in life. You're a top tier elite athlete, and there is always adjustments that can be made for everything. Curtis Blaydes even said it. I think it was at the maybe the weigh-in or the press conference. They said to him, "What you're doing now?" It was about 5 p.m. I'm going to sleep. It's my bedtime now. So make the adjustments if you need to make them. We weren't hearing about anything when Leon fought Kamaru Usman on Leon time or UK time. There was no talk about timing here.
That's true.
No. Well, you carry on landing.
But we're talking about
I'm going to squash this all in.
Right.
But we're talking about time. We're talking about time now. But no, let's say what it is. There was a bit of jumping the gun. Oh, Leo could potentially be the greatest welterweight of all time, etc., all that hype.
Craziness.
Yeah.
But the reality is, Tyron Woodley was better than him.
Much better.
Let's
I'm just going to leave it. That's it. He did very well for what he was able to do. Respect it a lot.
Yeah.
We've got a new champion. We don't know how well he's going to do because of the challenger we're going to probably talk about soon. But been there, done it, got the medal, Leon Edwards. Congratulations. Now you can find somebody else.
Ah, man. All right, Ray, you're going to have to jump in.
This
now.
revision of history is so nasty.
And he was
Because
preaching.
going into that Usman fight, yeah, there was very few people that were picking Leon, and you knew from me from earlier. I've been saying from 2018, Leon's going to be the champion. And when the opportunity came, when everyone was just like, I don't know, basically Leon was basically what Belal's just done now. The same way Jermaine was saying, you know, he was one of the few people. So what I'm saying is this: that whole timing thing, I do believe it because the exception is not the rule. We saw with a lot of the other UK fighters that they had lackluster performances. And the way I see it is that with Leon and everyone else, like there's a lot of other UK fighters, and Dana was even talking about, oh yeah, the performance weren't the greatest. I'm like, you cannot expect people, especially those with less resources. It's like, out of everyone, Leon will probably have the most resources to accommodate for this, and it still looked like it didn't go well. Yeah. Then you've got these other fighters that aren't on as much money, and you expect them to fight locally, because I get what Abbas was saying about, oh, but when other fighters go to other timing, if you are fighting Americans that are on their own time already, who are coming to, it's easier to acclimate to a time zone on 2 weeks' notice than it is to be at home. And then, yes, because everyone is going to be sleeping at, you know, suggested later times. There's difference between sleeping and waking up at different times, and then sleeping, waking up and having to perform optimum performance at 5 a.m. That's crazy. That is, for me, that is so crazy. And like I said, the exception is not the rule. Did Tom do well? Yes. But then you saw the rest of the card where everyone was just like, oh, it's lackluster. Because if I'm doing training camp in England, you're not going to be, I doubt there's anybody that's been calling their camps and be like, yo, people, what's going on? Yo, let's meet up at the training facility at 3 a.m. so we can replicate fighting at that time. No one's doing that. Your body cannot get acclimated at that time. It's not natural. And I, like, people saying, oh, but they knew the time. Guess what? Your body can know certain things. I've worked night shift before. No matter how much I used to work night shift, I remember I used to work 10 p.m. till 6 a.m. Come 4 a.m., despite my body having worked night shift for a month, I already knew 4 a.m. Don't ask me anything that requires a lot of brain power because I'm shutting down. Yes. No, seriously, my body's shutting down.
Yeah.
And so then that's the way I look at what happened with the UFC is the fighters, especially from the UK, should have stood up and said, no, give us our time. Well, not even say fighters from the UK. If I'm Leon, but obviously everything is better in hindsight. If I'm Leon, I'm looking back at that and saying, if they try to do that next time, say put a fight in America then. Yeah. Let me not do in the UK, because you're better off fighting at your normal time in the UK, flying to America, acclimating to the time there, and then fighting at 12 at midnight. Then you are staying at home fighting at 5 a.m. Because I called it early on in the fight, and you are a testament to this. I said, one, what I will say is this: give Belal his credit. I don't want this as an excuse. Two things can be true at the same time. Belal went in there and you done what you're meant to do. Whether your opponent's on job or whether they're not on job, you go out there, you fight, you implement your game plan. It don't matter if your opponent's feeling good or not. Go out there and dominate. However, you cannot look at that fight and tell me that Leon Edwards looked good. Even when Leon, I was saying, one of my boys was asking me, what do you think went wrong with Leon? Because his grappling looked all right. I said, Leon's grappling was more reactive than it was proactive.
Yeah.
And even when he had top position on the third round, what did I say? What did I compare his punches to? I said, it's like when you're punching in a dream and you can't muster any power. I said, this is the weakest ground and pound ever. Yeah. Like, you can visibly see in a top position, this guy cannot generate power. So then, and that was the third round. So you're trying to tell me that guy looked like he was in, physically, once again, it's not an excuse. This is where it is. Physically, you can clearly see that this guy was off. And guess what? Sometimes as a fighter, you're going to have off days, and sometimes you're going to get beat. And I like the fact that he's just not handled on it too much. He's just said, you know what? Give me a fight in December and I'll be back. And I like that from him. But kudos to Belal, because how they've made him wait, and we've had this discussion many times, how they made Belal wait for so long was such a piss take. even like the whole episode of UFC 300 when he should have got a fight then, and they still made him wait, was a piss take. So shout out to Belal. And listen, when Leon comes back, don't let me hear you lot jump back on the train. I remember.
I mean, having said that, Ray, I'm completely with you in the sense that, you know, you can't take, like, it was a stupid time, man. You're talking about 5 a.m, all that kind of stuff. Having said that, though, let's give Belal his props. Like, you know, like we've all said, he did a great job, man. You know, the jab was landing. He was backing him. So this is the thing that Belal has done time and time again, and I still didn't think that he was going to win, which is, you know, it's probably just biased on my part, just typical British bias. But he was backing him behind the black line here the whole time. He was not letting him stay in the center, which is great. He was mixing it up. That jab was money, man, and those takedowns that he was mixing in, beautiful, man. It's like I can't fault that performance. I wouldn't even say it's a boring performance, but there's one thing that I've got a big problem with. He doesn't want to go for the finish, man. It's like, I'm just gonna coast, man. I want to coast.
I don't like that narrative because I feel like some people just ain't blessed with finishing power, and I think he is.
It didn't look like he was trying though. You know what I mean?
Didn't need to.
Yeah, I guess you're right. No, you didn't need to.
Because at the end of the day, the biggest moment in your life is 5 minutes away, 7 minutes away.
That's true.
And you're in so much control.
Yeah.
Why risk it?
That's true. That too, yeah.
So yeah, like I said, honestly, there was periods in that card where a lot of us were going to sleep and there were boos. I don't know how it sounded on there were boos. And then yeah, the final 3 fights saved the card. But his team at the end, like we got out, you know, it's like the light was shining on everyone. It was just people couldn't sleep. Like I came home at 8 a.m. and I was like, I'm not tired. Like I've literally been up for approximately 24 hours, but I'm not tired one bit. And I forced myself to sleep like at 9 o'clock because yeah, it was a very good
the biggest adrenaline rush.
Yeah,
that's the thing. And now I'm feeling it now. I can hear myself speak. I'm like, okay, now I feel the pain. But I think again, if they run it, and because Dana's comments at the end about the 5 bonuses and everything like that, I do think now if they do run another card, yeah, we would have to probably get the timings changed and stuff, because also the crowd themselves, like some of the crowds just overly annoying. Like I said, because this was an 18+ event, you could tell obviously there was no kids. There was literally 0 children in that event compared to the build-up where it was all funny. It was all about the kids. I was going to throw the meme in, but we can't put that meme in anyway, the Jordan meme. But yeah, in the actual fight night, there was 0 children or anything like that. And then you could tell as the night progressed, the crowd got rowdy. I don't understand this. Somebody maybe can explain. If I'm paying for a drink, I'm not throwing out someone. And I'm paying £9 or whatever. I don't get it when it comes to football. Box Park, I know, is expensive to start off with. Why are you paying whatever you're paying and then just throwing up in the air?
I've been said it. The culture around
and then
MMA now and some of the
I don't
nastiest.
Get it. And that's the one thing I will say. Like at the end, it looked like Belal was going to talk to maybe one of his team just to say celebrate whatever that were in the crowd.
Yeah.
And he just got a drink thrown at him, and then they had to rush him out because clearly I don't know what's going on with people's heads at 6 a.m. But again, you're wasting money. If you want, just give it to us. Like, give us the money. Like we're making content. Pay us for that rather than paying them for that £9 for a beer and wasting it.
Yeah, that's true, man. It's just silly, to be honest, man. I mean, I saw a few brawls break out as well.
There were. Like, so there was one, I want to say it was after the Tom Aspinal win.
Yeah.
And you just see someone get a beer thrown at him. Then you see another beer go back and forth. And then this one guy in the blue just constantly being peppered and chucked with beer. I'm just thinking, what is going on? And then I saw the clip of the chair afterwards. But yeah.
It is what it is, man. So going forward, Leon Edwards. It's not Leon Edwards. Belal Muhammad is probably going.
Oh, look at you!
Remember the name? Yeah.
I did the same thing. I did the same thing as DC, man. Do you know what I mean? Like,
terrible.
I did the same thing as DC there. So Belal Muhammad is going to be facing off against Shavkat Rakhmonov. Most likely
champ for the next 3 years.
What do you do with Leon? I'll start with you, Jermaine.
Leon, he could fight Ian Gary. I think that
Gary.
Ian Gary could be a good fight. I mean, you could run it back with Kamaru.
Yeah.
I'd say, dude,
it's done.
run it back with Kamaru.
Nah, man.
Kamara's body is done. I think he just has his number at this point.
You think you don't think he's gonna fight anymore, or you think?
No. I think Leon's got Kamaru's number. I think he just
Oh.
knows how to, especially if Leon at optimum. Let me not say optimum performance. If he just gets back to how he was before, if he's physically feeling okay, he's shown that his get-ups and his defense to wrestling, he made it look so simple especially in the third fight, where it's just like, every single time you take me down, I'm just gonna wait for you to try advanced position and I'll get up. He just has systems in place where I feel like I said, this match, you could tell. I was even saying his reaction time into the takedowns was just like, brother, do you not see this coming? Like, he couldn't even. This is not taking away nothing from Belal. The takedowns weren't nothing special. Where it was like some speedy double leg, where it's just like, oh man, that came out of nowhere. It was just like, no, you would just grab it, and then by the time Leon's trying to defend it, it's like his whole body's it's like ragdolling. It's not even like a proper defense. It's just more like, you got me, and it's like he's falling down in slow motion. You know, remember that Kevin Hart joke when he talks about how Shaquille O'Neal falls down in slow motion? I don't know if you've seen it, but that's what it felt like watching Leon. It's like he'll get grabbed, and before like he can even get a defense in, he's like falling down in slow motion, and his body was just getting ragdolled, but not because Belal was ragdolling him, because you can clearly tell that physically he just wasn't there. But I do feel like for Usman, I'd rather just see him at middleweight now, because his legs are cooked. Every sharp up and comer knows what to do with Usman at this point.
Yeah.
I don't think welterweight. I don't think he should be fighting at welterweight. But I agree with you with your lane assessment. He should. I feel like Ian Gary or one of the.
I think if he wants to fight in December, I think the timeline matches up with Jack Della Maddalena.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I don't think that's happening.
That's a good one.
They're both represented by the same manager.
Are they?
Yeah, he won't. I don't think he will. It will be a good match, but I feel like that manager's probably like, you guys ain't gonna fight each other unless it's for a belt. Because remember, Maddalena was meant to fight Shavkat, but his is his broken arm affected? Yeah. Yep. So I can't imagine their management team's gonna allow them to fight each other.
Yeah.
If a belt's not on the line.
That sucks.
Makes sense.
Because that would be a good fight right there.
For sure.
Yeah. But moving forward, man, co-main event, Tom Aspinal versus Curtis Blaydes. I was watching this event and I was watching the fight and I was like, I felt a little bit of a way about it, man. I'll be honest with you. I'm a big Tom Aspinal fan. I do like him a lot. And I do feel like the stoppage was extremely early. Now, let me explain it a little bit. I feel like he wasn't even dropped properly, man. It was more like an off-balance shot. It's not like he got dropped by the punch itself. It felt more like an off-balance shot more so than anything. Yeah. And then when he went to the ground, fair enough, he wasn't defending like amazingly well, but it's not like he even got flattened out, man. He didn't get flattened out. He didn't look rocked, like right after the fight.
In real time,
standing up, stumbling about or anything like that. It was just a very, very strange stoppage, and I don't know why more people are not talking about it. What's your guys' thoughts? Ray, go for it.
I'd say in real time, it was more understandable. Only because everyone's watching in slow motion. Oh, see, he's getting up. But I said in real time, the ref is seeing you take 5 shots unanswered. And you're not moving like you need to move.
Yeah.
In that moment, I get people are doing, but err on the side of caution is a title fight. These are heavyweights, and the ref is probably there thinking he's going to get put out any minute he carries on. Because especially unconscious bias will come in where they're like, I've seen Curtis Blaydes be put out by Derek Lewis, and there's someone else where he's been put out like that. So they're probably thinking, I know that this guy must be out of it.
He was out cold though against Derek Lewis.
Derek Lewis, but what I'm saying is, in that split second at heavyweight, I can't see 5 shots unanswered. It's kind of just like,
let him go out, man.
No,
why not? It's a title fight, bro. It's a title fight. But
here's the thing as well, because everyone's just like, he should go out. But there's also other fights where we've seen guys not defend themselves, and we've been at peace with the fact that
that's true.
You've taken too many shots unanswered. Even look at Belal against Sean Brady. Belal didn't even drop Sean Brady, but the ref saw it as like, yo, you are taking way too many. Do you get what I'm saying? And no one argued with that. We just look at it as you are taking way too many unanswered shots.
Yeah.
Even if it's not concussive, even if it's not knockout shots, you're taking way too many. And in that split second, you have to make a decision of, is he going to get up? Is he not? I get why people are arguing for it, but I also understand the human element of, I can't see you take that many shots. And even when the people are just like, he was getting up, he got up as soon as the punches stopped.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you're looking bad right now. The ref probably thinking that you was out of it. If you was getting up while she was getting punched, then it's one thing. But you got up as soon as the punches were done. Yes, you were knocked out, but the optics is not looking good for the ref.
But if the ref doesn't step in, the punches don't stop coming.
Who knows though? But who knows? We're talking about punches.
I'll be very honest with you.
Go for it, Abbas.
When I saw the first shot, every single person in that arena knew the fight was done.
As in the first round.
The first shot, no.
Oh, when he like stumbled him.
The jab?
Everyone knew the fight was done.
It was like an awkward shot though. It was like a wasn't.
See, this is the thing. That on live, that looked like it hit so clean and it completely had him. And then while I watched it back, I saw it, and again, I still agree with the referee, because at the end of the day, this is a man that's on top of you. You realistically, you're in a super vulnerable position, regardless of wherever your hands are.
Yeah,
I could just keep going, bang, bang.
Yes.
Whether I hit you, whether I hit the glove, whether I touch your temple, whatever, I'm in so much control with. This is another thing people don't realize. Look at the timing of when that happened. There's 4 minutes probably in that round to go. Yeah. If there was 10, 11 seconds at the most, I say at the most there because it's heavyweight fighting, I can understand why they may allow it, and he can sprawl about a bit whilst being on his face. But with 4 minutes to go, realistically, in that position, the only outcome that's going to come from it is Thomas Aspinal is going to continue to hit shots and shots and shots. And then you'll get on commentary, why is the ref not stopping it? What's going on? Why is the ref not stopping it? He's just letting Curtis Blaydes get hit more and more, etc. So yeah, some people may think it's a quick stoppage, but the truth is when you factor in the time, the person that's landing the punches, and again, the division we're in, relatively, it's a pretty solid stop in my eyes.
Yeah. What was the crowd reaction to it? Was anyone going as a bit early? Like, that's strange.
No. That's what I said. Genuinely, from the shot that hit on Curtis Blaydes where he fell, everyone knew at that particular point the fight was done. The rest was just a case of we're just going through the motion of it. Because I don't think anybody really thought that Curtis was going to get up from that particular shot. On TV, it just seems a bit different because at the end of the day, he's moving around possibly a bit. But Ray hit the nail on the head. He only gets up once Tom's off him. Realistically, he's not moved himself or transitioned in any way, shape, or form where the ref can be like, okay, he's in an okay position. Because the reality was he wasn't. And yeah, I think it's a very good stoppage. Just a sensible stoppage.
Yeah. And
sensible is the best way to call it, I'd say.
Yeah. And in credit to, kind of the actual validity of the stoppage as well, it's not like Curtis was extremely pissed off or angry. He was a little confused. But at the same time, I don't think he could be too mad at it. What do you think, Jermaine?
He just took a beating, so he should be confused. But like even leading into that though, into the fight, the Curtis Blaydes said that like heavyweight should be graded or looked at differently because you can't take too many shots. Because he was talking about the Drew Dober John Silva fight. He's like, they're trading. He's like, you can't do that in heavyweight. Take too many shots and it's over. So him saying that is exactly why this fight is stopped when it stops. You can't sit there in heavyweight and take those shots. And he's not moving. He's just he's not protecting himself.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was a great stoppage.
I think 5 is a little bit too premature. But hey, look, at the end of the day, it's better to err on the side of caution. Curtis Blaydes can live on to fight another day. He's still a young man. He's only 32 years old. He could still win a UFC title, man. Do you know what I mean? Down the line, possibly. Who knows?
Not with Tom being in charge.
He keeps on that final hurdle keeps on
Oh,
I
bro.
like Curtis Blaydes. I feel for him, but every
Yeah,
single
man.
time he gets near, he will go on a good run.
Yeah.
And there was
And he gets
always
knocked
that
out.
fight between. Do you know what it reminds me of? Remember like Bisping before he finally got his title shot? There was
Yeah.
like, Bisping, he always used to stumble
Chael
at
Sonnen.
that final hurdle.
Yeah, Vanderlei Silva, Chael Sonnen.
Do you get what I'm
You name
saying?
it. Vitor Belfort.
Donald
That was
Cerrone.
nasty.
Yeah.
Donald Cerrone, yeah, like that's what he was giving me reminders of. Like every single time it gets to that penultimate hurdle, he trips on it. And I hope he can one day go over that hurdle and go for an actual title shot. But
No, that hurdle is him just actually using his wrestling. Like whenever he gets into big spots, he chooses not to wrestle anymore.
Yeah,
It's mad,
Like-
man. It's mad.
but no. To his credit, and this is one thing I didn't like how the commentators weren't. I think only DC was bringing this up because Bisping was in his bias bag.
Oh yeah.
Curtis Blaydes was catching Aspinal.
Oh,
yeah.
I was just
hell
gonna
yeah,
say
bro, with
this.
straights as
I was
well.
gonna say this.
Yeah, man. That was
As
the money.
slick as Tom Aspinall is or has been and stuff, before the actual shot, Curtis actually landed the more cleaner shots.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So Tom, as great as the finish was, as great as he looked, he didn't really look that great
Yeah.
compared to the other fights he's had leading into this particular fight. Listen, one thing I love about Bisping, he'll always say to you, I'm never making a prediction because I'm commentating. Then you'll hear him commentating, you've made your prediction already.
Yeah.
He cannot hide his bias. Even like in the Leon fight, when he was talking about the fifth round, I said,
Yeah.
and as big as a Leon guy as I am, I was like, Bisping, let it go. That him, Leon spinning around in the last minute and throwing that elbow is not going to give him the round of what
Brother,
Belal
that
literally.
was ridiculous.
Like, no, Leon.
They might
actually
give
needs to
Leon the
finish.
fight, man. I'm like, are you
No.
fucking serious? Are you fucking serious?
Like
That was
round
nowhere near a
one
10-8
would
round.
be, I get because everyone was just like the way that Leon finished round one, you can maybe give it to Leon, which I wouldn't call it a swing round, but I could understand. There's like Belal got the takedowns, but Leon got the striking damage, so it's kind of just like which one do you give more?
Yeah.
2 was Belal, 3 was Leon, 4 was definitely Belal, and 5 was Belal. Apart from the last minute where Leon basically used reserve in his limited gas tank.
Yeah.
Like Bisping, I love him, but sometimes it's kind of like that bias was a bit too much, man.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, yeah, we've also got to remember this is not fucking Pride FC. You know, we're not doing it based on damage alone. If it was based on damage, yeah, the funny thing is, we'd probably be, I mean, just pure damage,
Crazy.
pure damage alone.
Yeah,
But,
fair.
you know, it
Thank
is what it
goodness.
is, man. So going forward, Tom Aspinall has called out John Jones. He's actually called out a tournament style matchup. You know, so he's saying John Jones to face Stipe Miocic, and then he'd like to face off Alex Pereira and do a 2-fight tournament in November. What's your thoughts on that, guys?
Okay, if I'm gonna be honest, why do you have to overly fantasy book it, mate? You don't need to do anything like that. There's no need for Alex Pereira as well to move to heavyweight when
Just
you are,
wait, man.
Yeah.
when you are genuinely making Alex Pereira at this present moment. Not because of Dana, I'm gonna say this. Dana's not made him. Alex Pereira's made himself the superstar he is right now.
Yeah.
When it comes to Tom, just I won't say bide your time. Be aggressive with it because that little flaker, John Jones over there, may not fight Stipe when he's meant to fight him. That's all I'm gonna put out there. I don't think he will do. Personally, I could be wrong.
Wait.
that
Say
is
that one more time.
He called that man a flaker.
He's a flaker.
Yeah,
and
John
might get
Jones,
a-
yeah.
Yeah, he might get a DUI or something. Could
That's
pop up
true.
out of
That's
the-
I'm not even
Um,
going to deny it at this point. You know.
So
Yeah.
I honestly think just stay ready. He could potentially fight Stipe for the world title because I don't think John Jones is going to be there.
Wow.
And if Dana doesn't pull through with that, we're going to have a conversation there.
That guy don't care about the UFC no more, man.
Yeah. What do you think, Jermaine, man? What do you think? John Jones versus, you know.
Or with Tom
Aspinall.
I hope John does it. I mean, or maybe just retire. I personally see Tom Aspinall as the champion.
Yeah,
I don't think that's
he is.
interim. Like John Jones is gonna retire
Yeah.
after his next fight, so I don't really see him as the champion. That's a retirement fight. That belt doesn't matter. whoever won that fight is going to be elevated as the champion. So I don't want to see no 2-fight tournament though, because I feel like for Aspinal and Pereira, whoever wins that fight, that's probably going to be a 1-round fight. But Jones Stipe, that's going to be a 5-round fight, like most likely, and they're not going to be ready for another fight later in that day. So like, it wouldn't work out if we were going to do a tournament. But no, I don't know. I think they should just move on and like just move on from John Jones, move on from Pereira. Aspinall should just try to clear out the division. You know, he's
an interim though, that's embarrassing for the UFC, man. To be like, yo, interim, can you just like take everyone out, yeah? And then me as Dana White, yeah, I can just be like, John Jones is the best fucking baddest motherfucker out there, man, and just start riding.
To be fair to Tom, bro, I think Dana did say before this fight, the winner of this is facing
the winner
Jones first Stipe. Yeah, he did.
Mm-hmm.
But
obviously we know Dana to renege sometimes, but I think now, especially with Tom being interim, it's not like he's just a number one contender. I think now it's kind of like there's literally nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
My only pass with this is if Tom becomes the guy to beat John Jones, I'll be so upset then Ngannou never got the opportunity. If Tom does it, I'll actually be upset because I'm going to look at it like that should have been Ngannou versus Jones, but Ngannou got the bag, so it's all good.
I'll be honest. Yeah. John Jones isn't going to give Tom that opportunity.
I don't think
and
so.
I personally understand why.
Yeah,
I think his ego will kick in. I think John's got enough ego. John's ego is big enough that he will absolutely. If Tom stops doing this whole polite British thing that he's trying to do, if Tom puts his finger in his chest and says, "I think I am better than you, and I know you're running," Jones's ego will not. Jones doesn't even like people being brought on top of him in a metaphorical pound for pound. You think that if Tom goes and says, "Yo, I'm better than you," and the world knows it, Jones will bite the bait and will make that fight.
Definitely, man. God willing, they make the fight. What do you guys think, of Mikhaev being cut? I think it is, for me, I think it's like, they don't really, shit on Belal, well, they do, but they gave him a title shot at the end of the day, right? What makes him so different from Mikhaev, man? I don't really understand. The kid's 23 as well.
I'll let you guys answer because I'm going to rip him apart. But go on.
Go on.
I'll be honest with you. Effective style, not the most friendly to watch. There is a reason why he was moved from, I guess you could say, the main card, the prelims to the early prelims, whatever. Even though the fact that they replaced stunk it up as well. I just think it is a bit unlucky. But also, he's probably not one of Dana's favourites if that is the case, because Dana wouldn't cut an undefeated fighter regardless of how he's going right now.
Yeah. Jermaine?
Well, I think he has potential to be a good fighter. He's not a great fighter. Like, when I saw the last fight when he fought Perez, I was like, well, he's not ready for the belt. And in this fight, I'm like, he's definitely not ready for the belt. I don't think you should necessarily cut him because he's 23. I mean,
bro,
that's very young.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of dumb shit when I was in my 20s. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know if, like, you let John Jones crash into a pregnant lady, beat up his girlfriend in front, like, all these things, right, that we know he did. And then
I can hear that in the background.
Mikhaev just sucker punches another fighter, all right, and you release him at 23 years old. I don't think it's fair, personally.
Definitely not, man.
Let me try to sum this up quickly because I know we're on the timer. There have been many fighters that have done controversial things in the past. However, when it comes to go time, they go. John Jones, Conor, and even put a bib in there. Because all of these guys have done egregious stuff that should have got them cut. But when it comes down to it, when it came time to fight, they fought. Not even just the money. Just in terms of performance.
That too as
They come to fight. Look at Habib jumped the cage and attacked the team. And they couldn't wait to book him in Abu Dhabi because they know that whoever you fight next, Habib's going to go for it. John Jones has done countless horrendous things. But when it comes to fight time, John Jones, same with Conor.
Yeah.
Mikhaev in his mind, he's got what fighters need in that he's got a certain delusion of being great. However, if you then cause such a ruckus for the UFC staff and then you put on a performance like that, yeah, I'm not re-signing you because you're too much. You're not even worth the hassle.
True.
That's what it comes down to. You are not worth the hassle. If you're worth the hassle and you're putting on big performances, Dana White will personally be like, I don't care if you have to babysit him. I want him to perform. But the fact that you put on a stinger of a fight, you have to be separated at Wade, you have to be separated at the hotel. You made publicized a story about how you fake taking a nice picture to sucker punch him. You had to get separated in the cage before the fight starts. And then you fought like that.
Yeah.
What the hell am I re-signing you for?
Craziness.
And I think people need to stop seeing it as he's getting released. It's like, no, your contract was up and you put up a stinker. And on top of putting up a stinker, you've had a horrible attitude.
Yeah.
It is not
Just
going
quickly.
to look good.
Well, we've got 1 minute left, guys. So I'm just
His
gonna...
fight started the chain of the stink fest that went on.
That's
until
true.
Paddy.
That's
Carry
true.
on.
100%, man. But look,
I will
UFC 304, it wasn't the greatest. It definitely was not the greatest. It was probably, again, as I said, the shittest UK card on record.
know whose fault that is.
The card that stopped Dana giving extra bonuses out. But look, Belal Muhammad is the fucking champion. We
Shout
are
out
not
to
living
Belal.
in an alternative universe.
Remember the name.
Remember the name.
Leon Edwards.
But look, we'll be back again, guys. Thank you so much for jumping on. I know you guys are on limited sleep as well, so I do appreciate that.
Thank you, guys.